Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, you guys. All right, you are going to think I am being a conspiracy theorist with this, but when you look at all the evidence put together, I'm pretty sure I'm onto something. Okay, don't think I'm nuts, but I think that Harry and Meghan are trying to take over and control and edit the internet. So just look at my thought process on this really quick, along with a few other small little tidbits, and then tell me what you think. Let's go. In 2019, it's been stated in several news articles that Meghan didn't want to deal with the press anymore, and she kept saying, I'm going to break the internet. I'm going to break the internet. Then, of course, they moved to California. First, they tried to control the media by telling the media that they weren't going to deal with them, and they were only going to engage with grassroots media organizations and young and up-and-coming journalists. We know this, right? But that didn't work too well for them, because if you want to be in the news, you have to be, in the news. She wanted to do a story about her miscarriage. She had to pay the New York Times to print it. When she wanted to give a speech about how the neighbors nourish each other, she chose to go on CNN. I don't know why they said it was a surprise appearance. I mean, you could tell from the makeup in the background and the multiple angles. This was professionally done and taped. Point is, she wasn't using grassroots media, which is what she and Harry said they were going to do. Well, I guess they realized that none of that was working for them anyway, because by November of that year, they were on their 12th PR aid because they could not get good press no matter what they did. And of course, the one thing that we've learned beyond a shadow of a doubt is that Meghan does not take being criticized in any way, shape, or form. The next thing that they did was they started partnering with people who were already working on how to control the internet. So the first thing they did was partner with the Center for Humane Technology, which is led, now pay attention, by a former Google design ethicist. And they're supposed to be working on dialogues that create the conditions for a safer, more compassionate online community. And it's word salad. We understand the direct link between technology and its effect on us. We will prioritize critical work around the state of our digital world. Now, I did find it funny as a side note that Human Tech was listed because, as you can see, there's an elite global leaders conference in Rome. It's all about technology that empowers humanity. So I wondered why Harry and Meghan weren't going to this, and then I noticed underneath it says by invitation only. Archewell has also gone together with the UCLA Center for Critical Internet Inquiry. And this is all about reimagining technology and strengthening democracy through culture making and public policy works. In other words, controlling the internet. So they've tried to control the media by not dealing with certain aspects of the media, and then they tried to control it by joining with these groups, but none of that's working. On to plan number 3. So who owns or who runs Twitter, Facebook, YouTube? Who has a hand in all the pies? That would be Google. Harry reached out to Google and got them to join up with Travelist. Then Harry joined up with this investment group. I did a video on it the other day called Ethic, who has put millions of dollars into Facebook and Twitter. And even though Harry and Meghan have gone against social media and talked about how horrible they are, and has also invested in the very inoculations for COVID that Harry and Meghan said should be given away for free. A complete contradiction to everything that they said before. So for those of you who have missed the point, Harry and Meghan have now joined up with this group, this investment firm that has millions of shares in Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which basically could affect their ability to reach in there and do something with them. Get what I mean? I do believe that this group is the 13th largest shareholder for Facebook. So as you can see by these charts, Alphabet is the main group, and as you can see, they own a lot of stuff. Alphabet is the parent company of all those others, and there's two co-founders that remain the controlling shareholders. So how many of you think that it's just a coincidence, and that's all, just a coincidence, that Harry and Meghan now have shareholdings in Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube? What do you think of that? And how many of you think that might have had something to do with what happened to Murky Meg? Now, I'm not exactly sure what happened. I only know what she said. But what she said online was that her Twitter account got a permanent IP ban, not just a suspension, even though she had never been in trouble on Twitter. Now she's sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen to her YouTube account. Another high-end account that had issues was Yankee Wally. Anybody with a dissenting voice against Harry and Meghan, this sort of thing has happened to. I'm waiting to see if that's going to happen to me next. I think that would be a lawsuit at that point. You know, you're against free speech. That's a God-given right. So before everybody starts running to this investment company and dropping off your money, there's a little something I'm going to add here just that you should know about it. You guys need to be very, very careful with this kind of investment startup. Now, the New York Times heard from a former hedge fund partner who said the following, that ethical investing is more dangerous because they use a do-good smokescreen to expand their marketing power and their power over other facets of your life. He stated that the problem is the industry is very vague about what they're doing. You can't really see what you're investing because the companies don't disclose full details. And that can lead to something called greenwashing, where they make very misleading claims to you to get you to put your money somewhere. And an actual ethic customer told The Telegraph that the genius of this place is that you can use it for tax loss harvesting. So that's what you do when the super rich use loss-making investments to offset tax gains elsewhere, which helps them with their taxes. That sounds like something Harry and Meghan would do. A good point about the greenwashing and a good point about them not really being about, sustainable is the fact that they've also invested in laser-guided bombs and oil companies, which destroy the environment. There you go. So be careful before you give these guys your money. Not all that glitters is gold. I also have to say it's a little eerie that the guy who founded this place looks so much like Harry. Couple more small items. Prince Harry, we know, is going to be presenting awards to American military veterans in November. And of course, people are wondering if he's going to fly back in on another private jet. But my thought process is this. I don't understand why they would take Harry, who was caught trampling over American graves, to find somebody from the UK when he was throwing a tantrum after the Queen told him he couldn't have a private wreath at the cenotaph. Why they chose him to do it. There's so many American heroes that are available. Why would they do that? And my thoughts were echoed perfectly by Desres too, who basically said the same thing. Isn't there any American heroes available? I'm sure there are. And lastly, here we go. Interesting, we always know that Harry and Meghan somehow manage to know what's going on in the royal family, and they release information to, take the attention back on them. So when this notice came out that the Queen and Charles and William and Prince Michael of Kent and some other people are hosting a reception for the international business and investment leaders at Windsor Castle on the 19th to mark the Global Investment Summit, I was not surprised to learn that that's why Harry and Meghan released the information about the banking when they did. Once again, trying to steal the spotlight from the actual royal family. I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this. Personally, I think these two are going to try to control the internet by joining with this group, which has, shareholdings in Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc., etc. Slippery slope, my friends, because that could damage your ability to have free speech. You can't just delete somebody's account or remove their posts because you don't like what they're saying. Everybody has the right to free speech in this country, even though Harry already said he thought it was bonkers. Even though that same freedom of speech gave him the right to trash his family. Don't forget to leave your comments below, and these are going to be interesting. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to write down that email address, you guys, just in case my account should suddenly disappear. Don't forget about that coffee fund, and as always, have a great day.